Welcome to the 2024 Earth Month EduSeries. This is our third EduSeries, third annual. And I am Rhonda Mace, Recycle Rhonda from Chittenden Solid Waste District. And I am joined by my fellow trash bashers from two other solid waste districts. Have at it, ladies.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Lacey. Don't read the screen because I work at Wyndham Solid Waste
Ooh,
Management District. I'm
sorry.
the outreach coordinator and I love talking about recycling and compost.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Johnston, and I am the Public Outreach Coordinator at the Addison County Solid Waste Management District. And I also like compost and trash.
Sweet, thank you. And sorry about that, Alex. Yeah, wow, I can't believe I messed that one up. But anyway, we all make mistakes. So today, we are going to be talking about recycling. All right. Now, as solid waste districts, we are tasked to manage a lot of things. All right. I always say that as a solid waste district, we try to find fun and fantastical things to do with all the stuff that people no longer want or need. And these are just some of the areas in which we have to, materials that we have to manage. And today we are going to be focusing on recycling. Now, as awesome as recycling is, always remember, kiddos, that reducing and reusing are going to be better for the planet and better for everything on this planet than recycling, but it is a tool we have, so we don't want to forget that we have it. And we want to make sure that we are recycling like we live here. But before we jump into that, I do want to remind everybody, before we get into the who's, what's, whys, and where's of recycling, I just want to remind everybody that all of this stuff that we use or reuse or have to recycle, it comes from natural resources, Mother Nature's gifts, as I like to call them. Some of them are renewable, some of them are not renewable. So, whether it's oil to make plastic or even our fantastic farmers, metals and minerals in mines to make our little gadgetry, electronics, and even tree plantations to make our paper products. So, if we don't recycle, guys, what do you think happens to all that stuff? Where do you think it goes? Well, it goes to this place. All right, one of these places anyway. This is called a landfill. And that's because we literally fill the land with our trash. So if we're not recycling it, we're not composting it, and we're putting it in the trash can, this is where it's going to go. Now, question to you guys out there in the audience. How many active landfills do you think are currently being used in Vermont? You can put your, oh, I did forget to tell you that, sorry. You can put at the bottom of your screen all of your answers in the Q&A, and my fellow trash bashers will be watching that box. So, any answers out there?
One very good answer.
Wow! Could it be one landfill? Yeah, guys, we have one landfill for the entire state, and about 70 to 80% of Vermont's trash goes there and stays there forever. And that is because it is like a big tomb in the earth. All right, these are huge holes and nothing much happens. There's no oxygen in there, no real decomposition of anything is happening. And it is thought, they're not that well studied or haven't been studied for very long, but it is thought that a plastic bottle can last like 1,000 years in the landfill before it starts breaking into tiny little pieces. I'm not saying this to be like, womp, 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 but that's why we're all here. The three of us are here because we need your help. We need your help to keep stuff out of the landfill and put whatever you're trying to get rid of, if it is recyclable, into the recycle bin or into the compost bucket if it is leftover food. So we're here to ask your help. I mean, you guys are boots on the ground, if you will. Let's see here. Well, yeah, we'll skip that. Now, what are Vermonters sending to the landfill? In 2018, this is a pie chart, guys, of all of the stuff that we sent to our one and only landfill. All right. That is a lot. It's almost 1 billion pounds of trash. But what are you guys noticing? Oh, yeah, I bet so. This part right here, not trash at all. It's Mother Nature's gifts, and we're kind of wasting them. So that's why we're here. We need your help. We're going to focus on the blue bin recyclables today and helping to keep those bad boys out of the landfill and back on the shelves and back in your paws maybe in as little as 6 weeks. So let's get to work protecting the planet and let's discover the ins and outs of recycling. So next question to the audience. Whoops, that was left over. Sorry. Anyway, what makes something recyclable? What do you think makes stuff recyclable, guys? You could pop it in the Q&A. How do you determine if something is recyclable? Any answers out there?
We have one. It's not that little number on the bottom, is it?
Oh, man, I know. A lot of people think that, but it is not the little number on the bottom because the only thing that has a little number on the bottom is plastics, and we accept a lot more in the bin than just plastic stuff. And we're going to dive into that little number a little later down the road. So we call them drivers, or I call them drivers, and let me get my click on here. There we go. All right. So, couple of things that drives recycling, that makes something recyclable. First off, we have to have the technology or the ability to sort and recycle the material, whatever we're trying to put into the blue bin. We have to sort it and we have to recycle it. All right. There has to be somebody that's buying that recycling so that it can actually get smashed up or cut up, melted down, and turned into something new. We have to make sure that the economics work, meaning everybody needs to be making money, and whether it's making money just to make the operation work and break even, or if it's somebody that's like, I'd like to go on a vacation, so they're trying to make a little extra cash. And last, it is the demand for recycled products. And I circled this because this is the place where we, the people, all of us as team planet protectors, can have a huge effect. So if we buy stuff made out of recycled material, holy smokes, we are just closing that circle. We are making the system work even better. So keep that in your mind as you're going to purchase, your next drink or paper towels, anything like that you can easily buy out of recycled material. All right, so where does all of this blue bin material go? Now, your recycle bin might not be blue. It might be green. It might be yellow. I'm out of here in Chittenden County, so we use a blue recycle bin up here. So if I refer to the blue bin, I'm just referring to all of that stuff that you put into the recycle bin that gets shipped off, sorted out, and sold to get turned into new stuff. And that's really all recycling is. It's reusing Mother Nature's gifts, recycling them into something brand new. All of the recycling comes to a materials recycling facility, or most of it, I should say. We have 2 of these in our whole entire state. One is here in Chittenden County, and one is down in Rutland. So it depends on what part of the state you live in. Depends on which of these facilities it comes to. These are pretty fair-sized facilities, and they use a mix of mechanical sorting and real live people sorting. So that's pretty cool. And we're gonna last year, I guess I should say that in 2023, at least at the MRF or materials recycling facility, you'll hear it called materials recovery facility as well. We actually processed, what is it, 80 million pounds of material, which is kind of crazy, and sent it all off for, recycling. So let's take a dive into the Chittenden Solid Waste District, or the CSWD MRF up here in Chittenden County. Sit back, it's a 6-minute video, and relax.
Your blue bin. Think it's just another place to put your household waste? Think again. The things you put in this blue bin are actually valuable resources that are about to embark on an amazing journey we call recycling. This plastic bottle, when it falls into the bin, it's about to take a magic carpet ride to a new life. It could become another bottle or something like this fleece. This is the first stop on the journey, CSWD's Materials Recovery Facility, or MRF for short. Thanks to you, more than 80 million pounds of recyclables are processed in this building each year. They go through a wild series of spinning discs, speeding conveyor belts, whirling magnets. It's sort of like a Willy Wonka factory for recyclables. When they come out the other side, they're shipped off to market to be made into new products. Trucks come into this building. We call it the tip floor. That's because this is where trucks literally tip their recyclables out onto the floor. It can look like quite a mess, but that's only because the MRF hasn't worked its magic yet. Another machine, a skid steer or a loader, pushes it all onto the first conveyor belt, where it heads up the hill and into the pre-sort room. The pre-sort room is where the first line of workers take off bags of shredded paper for special handling. They also take out items that made it into your bin by mistake, like styrofoam, plastic bags, and hazardous materials. It takes concentration and quick hands, but it's important to get these contaminants out now. Contaminants lower the value of recyclables, and they can get caught into the machinery or even injure workers. Cardboard is the first material to be sorted. A screening machine with spinning discs pulls off big pieces of cardboard while everything else drops through it onto a conveyor below. After the cardboard, glass is next. Your recyclables go through something called a bottle breaker, which does exactly what it sounds like. It crushes glass into small pieces. That crushed glass falls through a screen onto its own special conveyor. The rest of your recyclables are still on the move. They're heading for 2 more sorting screens. We call paper, like newspaper and office paper, fibers. These items float on top of the screens, while containers, like plastic bottles and metal cans, bounce down the hill. The fibers head for a conveyor where workers pull out boxboard and cardboard for separate recycling. And they pull off any trash that might have sneaked by the first steps. The plastic and metal containers are headed for a special machine called a ballistic screen, whose rows of paddle arms weed out any leftover fibers and drop the containers onto their own conveyor. The workers on the next line are looking for plastic containers like jugs, tubs, and bottles. These plastics may end up as plastic or composite lumber, bottle caps, or even fleece sweaters. Each worker on this line is looking for a different type of plastic to sort, and each type of plastic needs to be kept separate. That's because every type of plastic is different. Companies that buy the kind of plastic used in water and soda bottles, for example, don't want other plastics. The color of the plastic can also make a difference. A colorless plastic milk jug is worth more because it can be made into more things than one that has been colored orange or blue. Next up, metal. Ferrous metals, or metals with iron in them, are in for a fun ride as they pass under a high-powered electromagnet, which lifts them off the conveyor and drops them down a chute into a bunker below. The last sorter on the line is looking for aluminum. aluminum cans, aluminum pie pans, big balls of aluminum foil, and those products will be recycled into just about any other product you can think of made of aluminum. Aluminum siding, engine parts, or another aluminum can. After all the paper, plastics, and metal are sorted out, they're each baled into giant cubes that weigh up to 1,700 pounds apiece. These bales will be loaded onto tractor-trailer trucks and sold to companies that will recycle them into new products. These bales are worth a lot of money. Some are worth $30, some are worth more than $700. Each year, the MRF sells an average of $4 million worth of recyclables. But wait, we're not done yet. Remember that bottle breaker? Well, that broken glass took an exciting trip of its own past vacuums, fans, and magnets that picked out any paper, plastic, or metal bits that may have gotten mixed in. The glass then goes through a spinning cylinder called a trommel, and the end product is used in road building projects and in drainage projects. That's the end of this part of the amazing journey we call recycling. If you were a newspaper or a plastic bottle, your journey would have taken you only a half an hour from door to door.
All right, so that's the magic world of the MRF, I have to say. And I know up here in Chittenden County, well, we give tours to anybody really, but you can come on a tour for sure and check out that. So if you want to bring your class, shoot me an email. It's 4th grade and above, age-wise. And so I'll get you set up on a tour. So anyway, onto the basic rules to recycling. And because we have a lot of mechanical sorting and hand sorting, these are the reasons that we have rules. It's not because we just want to make up rules to make life harder for everyone else, but there are specific rules because of the equipment that is doing the sorting and the human beings that are. And so the next time, so yeah, we'll go into the basic rules. First thing, it needs to be paper or cardboard and a single-use container made out of plastic, metal, or glass. If it doesn't meet that criteria, most likely does not belong in the blue bin. There are exceptions, always exceptions, but for the most part, if it doesn't meet that criteria, it doesn't belong in the blue bin. Second rule is all items that go into the blue bin must be made out of one kind of material. All paper, all plastic, all metal, or all glass, period. No mixed up material types. Third rule, everything going into the blue bin, including paper, has to be bigger than a squirrel's head. And if you don't know how big a squirrel's head is, it's about 2 inches by 2 inches or the size of a tennis ball. All right, we have little stickers that we put on our blue bins here to help people measure out what is big enough. If you would like some, we do have extras. Please let me know. Rule number 4, no hazardous waste containers in the blue bin at all. So if it says caution, danger, warning, poison, or flammable, please don't put it into the blue bin, even if it's empty. Last one, and one of the most important in my opinion, is all the items must be clean, no food nor drink. You notice those guys hand sorting stuff on the line, sorting through our recycling to make that system work. Let's just make their jobs a lot easier and a lot less smelly and difficult. All right. Now we've gone over the basic rules. There are additional rules, all right, depending on what kind of stuff or material trying to get rid of. So for plastics, no flip-floppy plastic bags. If it flip-flops all over the place, and I'll demonstrate what I mean by that in a hot moment, then please don't put it into the blue bin. Only number 1s, 2s, and 5 type plastics can go into the blue bin. They're the only ones that are truly recyclable and the only ones that we have recyclers for. So earlier somebody was asking about, like, isn't that how you determine if something's recyclable? Those numbers are called resin codes. They're actually name tags and the kind of plastic it is. So your drink bottles, they're number 1 plastic, polyethylene terephthalate. Say that 10 times. Your milk jugs, guys, number 2 plastic. Those are high density polyethylene. And as Claire in the video said, they all react differently. They have different chemistry. They melt different temperatures. So we sort them into the kinds of plastic it is. It doesn't mean it's recyclable. It just means what kind of plastic it is. So remember 1, 2, 5, keep the earth alive. You can continue to put 6 and 7 into the blue bin. That's okay. Just know that it's not going to get recycled. It's actually going to go to the landfill anyway. And lastly, no black plastic. And that's because black plastic often is mixed with clay or dirt to make it like heatable in the microwave. And so it's not all plastic, like one of the first of the few rules. It is plastic and clay. So we don't have an outlet for that. We don't have anybody that wants to recycle it. For glass, you guys probably are not dealing with a lot of glass at school, but bottles and jars only. If it's not a bottle or a jar, please don't put it into the blue bin. That means drinking glasses, no window glass, no mirrors, please and thanks. For metal, bottles and cans, clap your hands. Bottles and cans, clap your hands. That's how I always remember it. One exception to that is foil balls, bigger than a squirrel's head. But in general, bottles and cans made out of metal. And then lastly, for paper and cardboard, please make sure it is flattened so that it sorts properly. All right. Are you guys ready for a pop quiz? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right. I'm going to show all of our lovely faces up here and make sure that it's on the right kind of view there. And so I'm going to hold up a few objects. Those out there in the audience, pop into that Q&A at the bottom, whether you think it goes into the recycle bin or whether it should go into the trash, or maybe there's another option for it. So let's just let's review some of those rules. So first up, it has to be either paper or cardboard, or a single-use, one-time use container made out of plastic, glass, or metal. And remember that for the plastics, 1, 2, 5, keep the earth alive. All right, so that's what we're trying to work on here. So let's go. Let's start with your milk carton. Where do you think these milk cartons go? Do you think they go in the recycle bin or do you think they go in the trash? I'm gonna give you a little hint. Milk cartons are paper and plastic stuck together and we can't get it apart. So it's 2 different kinds of material. Where do you guys think it goes? Trash, recycling? Do we have any answers out there, guys?
We do have one that says trash it.
Oh, yeah. So I don't want you guys feeling, I mean, we don't want you guys feeling badly about making trash. We are gonna make trash. We just don't have to make as much trash. And these guys, that's exactly where they belong because of that paper and plastic. If it were all paper, it could be recycled. If it's all plastic, it could be recycled. But sadly, it's a mixed up thing. If it were all paper, I think we'd all be covered in milk anyway. So there's a reason it's covered with plastic. So pop that bad boy in the trash. How about these cereal bowls? Let me get up here close enough for you guys. So we got this paper-ish top. We've got this plastic bottom. The number on it is, you probably can't see it, but it is a number 2. All right. Now I'm going to give you a hint because we got to tear that top off. Where would you guys put this number 2? Nice and clean bottom. Where would you put this hard number 2 plastic? Where would that go?
So we have one in the chat that says the container can get recycled and the top goes in the garbage.
All right, nice job. So we're gonna toss that container into the recycle bin. This bad boy's gonna join its friend, the milk carton, and go into the trash. Very good. And that little cup will become, could become a laundry detergent bottle. It could become another little cup or another little cereal bowl. Who knows what happens to it once it goes to the recycle place? Oh, this is always a good one. All right, these are two foil balls. All right, there's a difference between these two foil balls. One is a large and one is small. Which one of these could go into the blue bin to get turned into bicycles? The big one, which is bigger than 2 inches or bigger than a squirrel's head, or the small one, which is smaller than a squirrel's head. Which one of these can go into the blue bin to get turned into a bicycle?
We got a really good idea here. So, big foil ball get recycled. Small one
Woo!
can't. However, combine and recycle together.
Oh my goodness. What a great idea. And it's really not that hard. I save all of my foil and make big balls out of it too. But even with that, I could just tuck that little guy in there. Oh, squish it down so it doesn't escape. And look at that. Holy smokes. That's a great, great idea. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. All right. How about this cracker box? Whoops. Where would you go with this cracker box? Trash or recycling? All right. Well, I am going to put it into the recycle bin because I'd like to save some trees. Because as we know, paper comes from trees. The more we recycle paper, the less the trees initially have to get cut down. And it takes like 60 years for a tree to reach a large enough size to actually be cut down and made into paper. All right. With that said, how about paper towels? What? Where are you going to go with paper towels? All right, we know, I'm going to give you a little hint. We know strong paper goes into the blue bin. All right, saving trees left and right. But what about paper towels? Because paper towels are wah, 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 not so strong. What do you guys think? What do you guys think out there? Any thoughts? Trash or recycling? All right, well, I'll let you know. Paper towels have to either go into the trash or sometimes at some schools, you can actually put them into with the food, the leftover food into the compost to get turned into fantastical soil. But check because not every school can do that. I know some of my schools can, some of the schools here can't, but check with your school first. But if you cannot compost them, they do have to go in the trash. We cannot put these into the recycle bin because paper and plastic only can be recycled 6, 7 times before new stuff has to be added in to make them nice and strong. Now, on that note, metal, guys, can be recycled forever without adding new stuff to it. And I think that's pretty awesome stuff. Not to mention, recycling this can save up to 95% of the energy needed to take it from Mother Nature's gifts. So saving money, saving Mother Nature's gifts, saving energy. That's like 3 saves in a row. Fantastic. Now, some of you guys might get your breakfast or lunch in a plastic bag, all right? I know it's so easy to eat what you've got, put it back in the bag, whoop, and toss it into the trash. But I'm going to ask a huge favor. We're here to ask you a huge favor. Take your time. We want you to stop, to think, and then sort it out, all right? That's what we would love for you to do. All right, so think about it. All right, we've got a juice box. That juice box has got to go into the trash just like a milk carton, all right? Plastic utensils. Let me tell you a secret. Although they are hard plastic, all right, they are smaller than a squirrel's head. Now, we've got these stickers on our recycle bins here to help us decide if it's big enough. So if I stick this in front of this sticker, all right, I'm not sure if that's like focusing or not, but okay, cool, thanks. So you could still see the sticker, which to me says, woo, too small, can't go in that blue bin, all right? We can't compost, so it does have to go into the trash. Grapes. So you eat your grapes, you got the grape sticks left over or whatever. You can toss them into the trash if you don't have a compost, but hopefully every school has compost and we could put those in the compost bucket and turn them into soil, which is, by the way, Mother Nature's way of recycling. And then sometimes you have the little fruit cups. Now, this little fruit cup right here happens to be a number 5. Now, keep in mind, 1, 2, 5, keep the earth alive. We're gonna pop that into the blue bin and turn that into something new. Now, we're left with this bag. And this is what I was talking about. This is that flip-floppy plastic. We can't be putting flip-floppy plastic into the blue recycle bin or into the recycle bin at all. So these either have to go into the trash, or some schools actually have a little collection for them, and they take them back to the some stores take them back. Well, they'll ship them out and they'll get them made into decks or into chairs. Or if you go to York, Maine, there's a whole bridge made out of once flip-floppy plastic. So, and of course, paper bags. Paper bags are always gonna go in the recycle bin as long as there's no food or drink in them. And then your snack wrappers, I'm just gonna go over this real quick, because your snack wrappers, all of your snack wrappers, flip-floppy, all right? They all have to go into El Trasho. So look at the numbers on your plastic containers. Remember, 1, 2, 5, those are the true recyclable ones, okay? You can continue to put 6 and 7 in there, just know they're not actually gonna get recycled. Paper has to be flat, paper cardboard, all of it, flatten it out. I used to teach 11th grade chemistry. My kids used to love playing basketball with their papers, which is fine and dandy. But then before they left, they had to get up and flatten them all out so that I knew, like, when they went to the MRF, they were going to sort out properly. And then just remember with metal, bigger than a squirrel's head, and all metals, bottles, and cans. Are there any questions of things that you are like not sure of whether it goes into the blue bin or into the recycle bin or not? Now's your chance. I am not. Oh, guys, is there a question?
Nobody from the audience, but I'm curious, your Murph, do you like having caps on your plastic bottles?
Great question, Big Al. Yes, so we used to say no caps, but now we're saying tighten those caps down, put that tight head on the body, and then it will move through the system. And what will most likely happen is the bottom blows off and the caps stay on. And then this drink bottle, although the plastic for the top is different, but the drink bottle recyclers shred up this whole thing. And like I said, the plastics are different. The cap plastic floats on top of water. The bottle plastic sinks to the bottom. And then they skim off that cap plastic and they send that to somebody who actually does the recycling of that kind of plastic. And then they're just left with bottle plastic. So yes, at our we're saying bottle caps on, just tighten them down onto the body of the bottle. Good question. And another thing too, these, I forgot about this. Your little juice cups here. All right, a lot of schools have these juice cups. These cups are actually number 6s, technically not recyclable, but you could tear off the top. You can trash the bottom, all right? But this top, guys, is foil. And I know that I have a lot of kids in a lot of schools that collect these foils, and then they make that ball bigger than a squirrel's head, pop it into the blue bin, make it planes, planes, trains, and automobiles out of that recycled aluminum. So that's pretty awesome. Any other questions? All right, fantastic. We're gonna just go back to this thing I got. We've got an idea for action plan for you guys, some things that maybe you can take back to school with you. All right, so we've already done our pop quiz. Let's get on to this. All right, so a couple of action items, and there's more than just three, but figured we'll start off. Just take one. We're not saying like, hey, get out there, do all of these. You can just do one small thing, make a small change. So maybe at school you make one recycling tip announcement each day or each week to remind students and staff, because it's not about this all about the students. The staff sometimes needs a little help too. Are we going to make mistakes? Yeah, that's how we learn. But maybe do a little reminder about the recycling rules. You could spread the word about your around your community about recycling right. Take your knowledge home. I know that I run into parents and students all the time who are like, whoa, we are much better recyclers now, which makes my soul sing. And then make sure that each of your classroom has a bin in it, has the ability to actually put their recycling in something. So these are some easy, quick ways or easy things that you can implement. One, you could just start with one and see how it goes. All right, so if you guys have any questions, comments, or epiphanies, here is our contact information. So Big Al, Emily, and myself. And again, I cover Chittenden County. Emily are you just Addison County?
Yeah, I'm most of Addison County, other than Brandon and one other town, but most of Addison County. Yeah.
All right. And Alex, what do you cover?
I got 18 towns surrounding Brattleboro.
All right.
So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
And you can reach out to any one of us. If you, even if you live outside of our, we'll get you in touch with somebody that will hopefully be able to help you. So, any other questions out there? All right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining in our fun today of recycling like you live here. I hope that everybody's learned a little something, something. And our next and last lesson will be on this Friday. It'll be Big Ideas with Big Al. You want to give a little idea of what that'll be like, or what that entails?
Yeah, so as we learned today, there's definitely a lot that can be recycled, and then there are some items that keep finding their way into the recycling centers that just don't work out. So we're going to kind of brainstorm and work together and think about what are some creative ways we could deal with those things. Does it have to do with the makers, people who are making these things? Does it have to do with us and finding it in the environment? Or is it a combination? So just trying to get a little creative because we are the world. And yeah, there's some really neat stuff happening out there already. And I wanted to bring your attention to that and also just give you the power to talk about your ideas or your concerns.
Yeah, because I find often that's the little minds that have the big ideas.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Emily, and thanks, Alex, for joining in today. And we hope to see all of you guys and more on Friday's Big Ideas with Big Al. So have a great day. Thanks for being planet protectors.